Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and get started. I'm gonna introduce. We're gonna start off with introductions, of course, and then I'm gonna give it over to Dr. Brooks Davis so that she can say a few things before we get started with the training. Very light. I don't want to give you too much information because it might be a little overwhelming, but we'll talk through it. So I'm gonna get started with introductions. My name is Kayla Williams. I'm the Associate Director for Undergraduate Admissions and Recruitment. I'm joined here by I'm joined here by our senior recruiter, Mr. Gibson, Raphael Gibson, and then I have our transfer recruiter, who is Miss Jessica Staten, and then we have our admissions counselor and recruiter, Mr. Tadero Bates. Um, they will also be talking throughout the presentation. They'll jump in and out when we're doing our presentation. They'll also be in the chat. So if there's questions that you have immediately, we have a questions and answers section at the end of the presentation. However, if there's a question that you just have to get off your mind and throw it in the chat, they'll be there to answer for you as well. Okay. Again, we are so happy that you took time out of your very busy evenings to have a moment with us so that we can go over some updates, what's going on with Clark Atlanta University and the Office of Admissions. I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Brooks Davis so that she can say a couple of things and then we'll get started.
All right. Good evening, everyone. Thank you, Miss Williams, for the introduction. And I would, on behalf of the Office of Alumni Relations and Engagement, like to thank Dr. Travis, as well as the entire Office of Admissions, Mr. Gibson, who's going to do some of the training, and the other staff, Miss Staten. The affiliate groups and our partners know that we have been waiting a long time, and the Office of Admissions has been so kind. But I do want to give you context for tonight's training and subsequent trainings. So, for your information, if you did not know, we now have affiliate groups, and these are groups that have partnered with the university by way of our memorandum of understanding under our new alumni engagement model. As a result of that, we wanted to ensure that our affiliate groups were trained to then go out and actually represent the university at recruitment events. And so the way in which the university is engaging and working with our alumni now, we're trying to streamline things, right? So we hear from alum, we don't have all the information. Then we have alum, we hear from the campus community that we hear from a lot of alum who are asking different questions. And so to that end, we asked the Office of Admissions if we could expand tonight's training to include not just our alumni leaders by way of the affiliate groups, but also to our alumni community. But with that being said, we also want to make sure our alumni know that we have a process by which
I had
the
to tell
alumni,
them you're not allowed to. Not allowed
the
to.
I'm sorry, could we go
I'm
on,
sorry.
could everybody go on mute? Because thank you. So we want to make sure that the alumni understand that there is a process of engagement, right? And so now our offices are streamlining. So for the university campus, if you are not in one of the areas where we currently have an affiliate group and you sign that form stating that you want to engage, we want to make sure you contact our office. We will be in contact with you so that we can coordinate those alumni engagement events, and we've centralized the points of contact. So I don't know if Mr. Gibson will talk about this later, but basically, if you're an alum and you're wanting to engage, there's a process now in which you will do so that we don't want to overburden the Office of Admissions. Also, if you historically have had freshman send-off events and you are no longer a affiliate group or you are not in partnership with the university, then you will not be getting access to those freshmen in your area for various reasons. But primarily, we want to stay within the context of the law and just governance of that. So just wanted to make sure you all aware of that. And finally, want to make sure you know that we have launched, the university actually has launched a new website. And so if you want to find out all things alumni relations, I'm just sharing my screen here. You can go to cau.edu alumni of alumni, and this is where you'll be able to find out all of the upcoming events. And if you need to update your contact information, please make sure you do that here. I also want to point out, because this is often missed, if you know of an alum who's made their transition and is now an ancestor, please make sure that the family is aware that they can complete this information here so that the university can make sure correspondence is sent to the family on behalf of the alumna or alumnus. And with that being said, I'll turn it back over to you, Miss Williams. And then if there's any questions, I'll be checking the chat as well. And then everybody on the call will also make sure we send out further information so we're all on the same page. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Brooks Davis. So that's great information. So tonight I'm going to start with sharing my screen so that we can get the PowerPoint up. But I also want to make a disclosure. Tonight, it might be the beginning of multi-trainings. So this is because we're not going to be able to give you all information at once, but we want to make sure so that you all can get started to have the most pertinent information, like, who our office is, who to contact, admissions requirements, all those things we're going to go over tonight. And then we also will go over the admissions website as well because it has been updated. Things have shifted. So we'll take a look at that tonight as well. So I'm going to share my screen. And then I'm going to turn it over. Me and Mr. Gibson are going to split this. So you'll hear some from him in the beginning and then some from me as well. So Mr. Gibson, when the PowerPoint loads, there it is. You can take it away. Mr. Gibson, I can't hear you if you are muted.
Oh, I'm sorry. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
All right. Welcome, everyone. As mentioned, my name is Mr. Raphael Gibson. I'm the senior admissions counselor and recruiter. Go ahead and get started. This is our leadership team. Dr. Travis Batiste, Ms. Kayla Williams, the associate director of student and recruitment and undergraduate admissions, and myself, Raphael Gibson, senior admissions counselor and freshman students. Give me 1 second. Hold on.
So Mr. Gibson is, and he's also going to give you this information as that you see it on the actual PowerPoint. He deals with this freshman students with last names that begin with I through T. This is something new that we just implemented the past couple of weeks. Before it was just all hands on deck. Who anyone can get a student. We get to them fast as we can, and we answer them and help them. So now they have a designated admissions counselor. My information isn't on here, but I do help Miss Staten because she does have a lot of the transfer and readmit. You'll see that in a second. So I help her with some population. I don't have a large population, but some of them are designated to me. So those are special cases. But he'll explain that they all have a designated admissions counselor now. Sorry, you're muted.
Absolutely. Absolutely. What she said. I'm sorry. I got a puppy. He came in the room and he was trying to bang his way out. So I'm sorry. I had to get him out of there. But we can go to the next slide. Ms. Jessica Staten, she's our transfer counselor and recruiter. Mr. Tadero Bates, second, he also is our freshman student admissions counselor and recruiter for letters A through H. And Miss Melson, our receptionist, our lovely receptionist.
And also one more thing, Miss Staten handles everything transfer. She's the only person, readmit as well. But when it comes to transfer, she is the only person that touches transfers. No one else touches transfers besides Miss Staten.
I'm sorry, Miss Williams. Like your head is right where the information is, and I can't see.
Oh, Jesus. Hold on now. Layout. Content only. There you go. I didn't even know that existed. Can y'all see now?
Thank you. Yes, thank you so much.
Not to say your head is big. It's just
I'm gonna remember that tomorrow.
But yes, Miss Staten does answer all things transfer and readmits. We're not even allowed to look at transfer students. Um, of course, our admission requirements for first-time freshmen, it's a 3.0 or higher on a 4.0 scale. We'll do a holistic review of their high school performance, leadership roles. All of those things were mentioned on the application. We are test optional. To be honest, we don't really look at the test scores in making decisions. But if we can go back, we can use that if need be.
And also to add, like I said, we're going to be bouncing back and forth. We also want to mention because you all come from various different places in the nation, there are different scales that your students may be on. So they may come to a college fair and say, I have a 5.7. You're like, how is that possible? So all that information, we'd like to keep it kind of very concise. A 3.0 on a 4.0 scale. When they get their transcript to us, we have evaluators and processors that translate all that, all their GPAs to a 4.0 scale. So we don't handle that, they handle that. So anytime that someone asks, like, oh, I have a 4.7, can I get in? It's best, and we'll talk about this later, it's best for you to kind of just give them, that information will come to you once your transcript is evaluated because it could be a 2.9 after they reevaluate, or it could be a 2.5. So we don't want to give them false hope. So just keep that in mind.
The admissions requirements for transfer students. We will need one official transcript for each post-secondary institution that they've attended. Okay. But one transcript from each official transcript from each college that they've attended. Those transcripts should be submitted via parchment. They can be submitted through National Clearinghouse. They could also bring it in a sealed envelope. However, it's best to submit it through those. And we need a final official high school transcript. The high school transcript should be in a sealed envelope if they brought it, or also through parchment or National Clearinghouse. Transcript should have a graduation date and or a signature from their school.
Also, Ms. Staten, is there anything else that you wanted alumni to just know? I know we gave very basic information, but just want to see if you want to jump in and add any information.
Just minor information in regards to if they're asking you about their college transcripts, just be sure to remind them that it has to be an official final college transcript, meaning that it can't have any in progress courses because you have some students that are college students that are looking to transfer. And let's say, for instance, it's the spring semester and they're looking to transfer to us in the fall. That official final transcript has to be a completed transcript, meaning that those spring grades have to have posted on there in order for them to obtain a final decision on their application. And like Mr. Gibson stated, we have to have the official final transcript from every single college they've attended. I don't care if they're 60 years old and they're like, oh, well, that was 20 years ago and I only took one course there. If it's going to come up in our clearinghouse system, it has to be something that we have to have. And if they ask you why they need all of those transcripts, and they're even going to ask why they need a high school transcript, simply because it's for auditing purposes, and then when their classes are being ready to be compiled or a schedule is getting ready to be created for them at Clark, will need all of those transcripts to be reviewed and assessed appropriately by the CAS department to ensure that they're not repeating courses that they've already taken.
Thank you so much, Ms. Staten.
You're welcome.
All right. How to apply. There are three ways to apply. The Clark Atlanta website, that is our preferred way. Also through the Common app or the Common Black College app.
And also to add, the reason why we say that the Clark Atlanta University website or the application is the preferred way, not that we're biased, we are. But also, even if they apply using the Common App or the Common Black College app, they'll still get a follow-up email saying complete this so that you can build your future Panther portal. So they're gonna fill all that out, and then they're gonna get a follow-up email from us saying, hey, it looks like you've applied through the Common App or CBCA, which we say Common Black College App for short. Go ahead and click this button and make it official. Build your future Panther portal. So it all goes back to the CAU website anyway. So that's why we say it's our preferred method.
The application package. So we encourage our students to apply through CAU or through Common App or Black College Common App. We need the official transcripts, and yeah, our preferred GPA is a 3.0. Reassure students test scores are not required. We're test optional for fall 26 and spring 27. And then we have our deadlines. The early action deadline to apply was November 1st. Regular decision is April 15th. Even that can be subject to change depending on the amount of applications that we're already above, I think, 40,000 plus and still making decisions. So even that, it could be subject to change. Right now, as far as incoming freshmen, we're really just trying to get in front of those juniors. Right. Wow. I saw somebody say in the comments, wow. But we're really just trying to jump in front of those juniors right before their senior year because we're doing pretty good on those. And we're trying to encourage our students to pay the confirmation fees right now.
Yeah, and so when we say the application process or the application package, what we're also meaning is that for our system on the back end, in order for them to be considered for anything, we have to have at least an application and an unofficial transcript. So the thing about it, of course, it says official transcripts. We need those and later on, but right now we're looking for unofficial transcripts for those seniors that are coming in the fall to make sure we have something to make a decision on. So the official package for it to be ready for review, for us to go ahead and make a decision, application, transcript, test optional. We don't need those. And then, of course, make sure you keep those deadlines. Like Mr. Gibson said, we have over 44,000 applications. We have already done around 16,000 acceptances. So, and we decision totally 22,000 students. That means we have 22,000 more to go. And, it's getting closer to fall already. So we have a lot of students that are in the pipeline. We have a lot of students that are excited to come on campus. So that's going to be the total package so they can be a part of those.
Someone asked, well, I just answered two questions in the chat. But someone asked, since we are test optional, are test scores still determined for scholarship tiers? No. Uh, so
Mm-hmm.
we use the weighted GPA to determine acceptance for incoming freshmen. The unweighted GPA will determine what we can offer on a scholarship if they are offered a scholarship.
Mm-hmm.
Someone else asked, are application fees still required? Yes, and the application fee is $35.
Yep.
Yeah. Are there any options for application waivers? Typically, they would get that through their high school counselors. Sometimes they're offered through the Common App. We don't typically waive application fees. We may do a special for a school, but that's something we handle on the back end.
Homegirl had more turnovers.
Go ahead. Then we'll hold the rest of the questions for the end so that we can get through the PowerPoint, and then we'll answer the rest of the questions.
And of course, you guys all know the colleges that we have here at Clark Atlanta: School of Education, School of Business, School of Arts and Sciences. We didn't give a full breakdown of all of the majors that are offered, but we can get that over to you guys.
It's a lot. That's
It's a
why it
lot.
wouldn't fit on. It wouldn't fit on here, and I would have to break it down. So that breakdown will come to you all. This is just an overview of the colleges that we offer.
And our sports. We have 10 sports. Our men's sports are baseball, basketball, cross country, and football. Women's sports are basketball, cross country, softball, tennis, track and field, and volleyball.
All right, so I'm going to take it from here. So what to do? These are just a rounded amount of what to do. Everyone could go through a whole list, but the reason why alumni are so important when it comes to recruiting is because you all have been there. You have your own unique experiences. So we don't like to put a lot of constraints on, hey, don't do this, say this. No, just give you some tips and tricks to make it a more equitable experience for yourself and for the students and parents that you'll be interacting with. So what to do? Share your personal success stories. So share those stories that you've had when you were on campus and there was hard times or there were great times. Share all those things with the students and the parents. Share your success stories professionally. Where Clark has taken you, the network that you've built. Share those things because they want to see what it looks like to make it through. A prospective student loves to hear from the current students, but you are the success story that they're looking for. So that's very important. Be encouraging and professional. So of course, making sure that you're encouraging them to go after their dreams, making sure that you're being professional while you're talking with them. All those things, we all know how to do. Focus on accurate information. And so after we do all this and then do the questions and answer, we're going to briefly go through the website because that is my cheat sheet. I didn't graduate from Clark, unfortunately, wish I would have, but it's kind of my cheat sheet. So when I don't know something, I'm like, hold on one second. I go on the website and find that information out or reach out to someone that does know that information. So making sure you have accurate information. And then if you don't know the answer or you can't reach out to someone that has that information, it's okay to say, you know what, I'll get back to you. Not sure about that, but I'll get back to you. And then the direct students back to admissions counselors for official information. So if there's an official, like if they're asking about scholarships or they're asking about something specific and you're like, yeah, I'm not sure about that. I've heard, or something that they've heard. Do you do this? Do you do that? Not sure. Reach out to us because as much as we want to go over every single piece of information about admissions, it's a wormhole. And so I'm still learning. We're all still learning about different things. So we may have the answer. So reach out to us for sure. So what not to do? These are big no's, not a lot of them. One, never promise any scholarships or promise admissions to anyone. So typically what students like to do or parents, what they'll do is they'll come up to you and go, look, my student has a 4.0 GPA. They'll be able to get in, right? And you're just like, yeah, that looks good. What I like to say, and I picked up on one of our counselors as they were doing the college fairs, are saying, looks like you may be eligible for admission, or it looks like you may be eligible for a scholarship. That way they can't tie you to anything. They also like to record you all. They like to record us too, take pictures. So it's really just the language that you put behind different things. You just want to be careful when you say that. Even if you don't mean to promise a scholarship or mean to promise admission, it's just great to say, it looks like you may be eligible. Provide unofficial evaluations. Again, that's taking their transcripts. We would just refrain from taking transcripts at all. Don't take any transcripts from anyone. Even with us, they don't even send them to us. They're supposed to send them to admissions@cau.edu. If there's an unofficial transcript they need to send, admissions@cau.edu. It does not go to their counselors. It does not go to me or Dr. Batiste. It goes to that email, and our processors take that. And then we have processors again that put those and upload that into our system. Don't discuss any confident application information. Not that you would have any access to it, but that's again just goes along with not taking any personal documents, not taking them home with you. make sure you let them know we can't really take your transcripts. However, it looks like, you'll be able to send them to admissions@cau.edu if you need to send them in, and then we'll go from there. And then one of the biggest things is speaking on myths or negative experiences. We all know I am an HBCU graduate, so I graduated from Tuskegee. Woo-hoo. So we all know that we have different experiences at our HBCUs. It's very important that though we may have certain experiences, I may have an experience, that we don't always talk about our negative experiences, because your first impression might be a lasting impression. And we don't want to scare off any of the students because it might not be their reality. It might be completely different. And they may never run into the same situations that you ran into. So we want to make sure that we're speaking light into them. You don't have to lie, but definitely making sure that you're speaking life into them and not speaking on anything that, doesn't align with the Office of Admissions and Clark Atlanta University. So right now, and we're still building it out, because all the different processes are with working with you all as our partners are going to be coming. They're being built out. So right now, for any college fairs that you have, that you want to work a college fair or any of that, I don't know, Dr. Brooks Davis, so correct me if I'm wrong, if there's a process already. And I didn't know that there was a process on that side. But if Mr. Gibson is the person that uploads or updates our recruitment calendar, so for the entire office. So even when someone sends me a college fair, I send it directly to him. He updates it. We meet once a week to go over who is going to be covering it. That's how we do it. So if there is a different process, I don't know, me and Ms. Brooks Davis and Mr. Gibson and Dr. Batiste, whoever, we may need to all sit down and see how you would like to do that. But right now, if there's any college fairs that need attendance, and you're getting them from maybe your church or maybe your schools, if you work at schools, or however you're getting them, they right now go directly to Mr. Gibson.
That piece will remain the same, Ms. Williams. No change there. It is in the deployment in which Mr. Gibson and I have talked about that, because what we do want to make sure is that the overall community, we love the fact that we have 117 alum thereabout on this call and everybody's engaged. But when you say alum, we want to make sure we're clear in terms of what that looks like forward facing. So that's what I'm speaking to.
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay. And that is, again, this is a little shorter because I didn't want to drown you all with information. So we may have to do this in several different trainings, but this is just to get us started. So right now are going to be the questions and answer, because I know I didn't cover everything, but I want to hear the questions. The whole team is able to answer as well. So what questions do we have?
So
Ms.
I'm
Tiana?
going to kick, I'm sorry. Can I kick this off? Because I want to speak to a lot of the questions that we receive in the office. So question number one, are there materials? I saw in the chat, but because it's being recorded, are there materials that will be sent to the alumni who are going out to attend recruitment fairs? So that's question number one.
So that's actually a great question. Me and Dr. Batiste are still working that out. If it's going to be more cost effective for us to send the printouts to you all, because they're one pagers. So, and then of course we can see if we can send you all like pennants and stuff like that, depending on where you're going. So we still are talking that out on what that looks like. So once then we are actively like, he gets back in office tomorrow. That's probably one of the first things I'll bring to his attention. Now that you all are getting trained and you're going to be doing fairs. So yes and no. Yes, we're definitely going to give you some information. We're going to definitely give you some things to hand out. We're not going to send you empty-handed. How that happens, I'm not sure just yet.
That's fair. And so I think what I would say to everybody on the call in creating the form, we asked you, would you be willing to represent Clark Atlanta at a fair? We're going to use your responses to the registration form in order to disseminate information on how you will receive exactly what you will be able to use moving forward. So that's how we'll kind of streamline that in a collaboration with admissions, Ms. Williams.
And
Sounds good.
just to add, Miss Brooks Davis, I'm sorry, is that okay? Miss Williams did mention earlier, when the presentation started, that the website has been updated significantly. So it could be something that could be of use as well, going through the website. And I mean, even if you all just want to take a moment to just browse through the new website, and go to that search, little magnifying glass, little search, button, and kind of type in certain things just to see what information comes up that could definitely be beneficial for you all while you all are at the fairs. Because sometimes I know, we're gone to fairs sometimes for weeks at a time and we run out of material. So when that material runs out, we turn to, what we have digitally, and that website has been updated because it comes in handy, in cases where we don't have material or where you just run into somebody. Because if you're wearing CAU gear and you're going to the airport,
They're gonna
9 times
stop
out
you.
of 10, somebody's going to stop you and want to know some information. And so just to be able to have it at your fingertips, on this updated website is definitely something that is extremely beneficial for us all. So
Yeah, and then after the questions and answers, we'll briefly take a look at the website together because there's certain things that I definitely need to show you that you may not have been able to take a look at, especially with our new student information page, which is new. So we'll go through all of that. I didn't know, did you have any other questions, Dr. Davis? Brooks Davis?
I'll come back after I see you have some there in queue. I'll come back
Okay.
after.
Miss Tiana?
Thank you. So just so I can for my understanding, so this training will allow us to be able to represent CAU at a recruitment fair if we sign up through the registration and then get assigned to a place to recruit, or is this something, I guess it's twofold. And do we have to be a part of our local affiliate or the affiliate that's closest to us in our area to be able to act as to participate in this training for participation in events?
So it sounds like there's two. I'll answer the
Yeah,
first.
two
I'll
questions.
somewhat answer the first one. The first one, this training is to make sure that everyone is on the same page when it comes to disseminating information. So that's why we're here to answer those questions that, so maybe you've heard, oh, you can get it in order to get into Clark, you have to have a 3.5. Oh, well, I heard. So we're here to kind of set the record straight on certain pieces of information that do not change. These pieces right now do not change. You have to have this, you have to have that. That's what we're here for. And then, so now that all the people that are on this call, and of course, Dr. Brooks Davis, you can correct me if I'm wrong. Once you filled out that form, like she was stating, now we know what information to send out to you all because you all have signed up for the training. You all have basically said, hey, I'm interested in doing this, whether it's a fair that you specifically like, if it's one fair that you want to do or 50, you have to at least go through our trainings to make sure that we're all setting up on current information.
That is true. And what I will also say, that's a great clarifying question. The second part of that is we will connect with Dr. Baptiste and his team, and we will send to everybody who registered how we're going to move forward with deployment. So attending this does not mean that we're asking you to attend a recruitment fair tomorrow. It is such that this is, as Ms. Williams says, this is an interest. And then there has been some conversation with Dr. Batiste about how we will do that, and we will deploy that to you. So be on the lookout for an email. What I will say for sure, if there's an affiliate group in your area, they will be the point. So the affiliate group in your area will be the point for those fairs. And we know that we have alum in areas where we do not currently have We currently don't have someone, and we want alum who are interested to go. Sometimes Mr. Gibson will reach out to me and say, do we have alum in this area because we need representation? So in that example, it may be that, let's say we don't have anyone in New Mexico and there's an interest there. He would contact me and say, do we have alum? I would look on this list and subsequent lists and say, oh, we have alumna Tiana in New Mexico, and then can you attend this fair? So there will be a flow, if you will, a workflow, and we'll talk about that and give you information at a later time. That will be a partnered flow between admissions and alumni relations.
Okay, thank you. So you don't necessarily have to be connected to the affiliate group to be able to participate.
If affiliate group is in your area, the answer is you will be. You have to be. If it is not
Okay.
in your area, then of course, no. But
No,
we'll
so
give
that's
more details at a later time.
okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what I was just trying to say because we have one in Chicago, but I'm in Rockford. It's almost
Yep.
three
So
hours
you don't
away.
even have, yep. So in
So
that
that's what
case,
I'm
you would
saying.
be, that's exactly right. But we'll give you more information because now they're Chicagoland, and the affiliate groups now have to identify their geographical area for that reason. So in that case, you're beyond the bounds. And so we'll share all that information at a later time.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Miss Angela?
Yeah, so this is great. My question was very similar to what we were just talking about and how logistically everything will be deployed. And if there is, so when is the recruiting season, first of all? Like, what are the time frames generally?
Mr. Gibson, I'm gonna have you answer that.
Okay. So yes, the recruitment season typically begins, I believe, in as early as July and August. That's when we've started doing our first college fairs for the incoming fall and spring.
Okay.
So July until I typically stop around April.
Mm-hmm.
And
I'll hit
then,
a late fair in April.
as it was just discussed, a schedule will go out. So we'll know what dates are available for recruitment in our respective areas, right?
So I would say it this way, and Mr. Gibson or Miss Kate, Miss Williams or Miss Staten, please jump in. What I would say from our perspective from alumni relations is that historically, admissions has identified the fairs in which the university will actually show up. We don't make that decision, but what I would say from admissions, we often get the feedback from alum, I want y'all to come to this area. Why aren't y'all coming? And so we often tell them we don't make that decision. That's a decision made by admissions and however they make that decision. By having this training, what we're trying to do is create a space whereby alum can be trained and engaged to represent the university at future trainings. What I envision more than likely will happen is the university has its calendar where they will show up.
Okay.
And what I anticipate we will do as an office is also send something out to everyone on this call and others who show up later to trainings to say, if you're in, I'm gonna get off New Mexico and I'm gonna go to, let's say, Portland, Oregon. If you know that there is a training where you would like to see us represented, we're going to provide you with a path to be able to say, hey, CAU, there's a event in Portland, Oregon I would like to attend. I participated in this training. I want to go. So you'll be able to give us an idea of where you'd like to see us show up. And then we will be able to look at that and provide you with you need so you can be empowered to present there. That's how I envision that's happening. So it's two things at one time. The university has its calendar, and as alum, we are aware of things that maybe the office won't attend, might be smaller, but you want to show up and give back in that way. And we want to create that, but we want to do it in a way where we have checks and balances. And so that's what we intend to do with that.
Okay, so thank you for clarifying that. So my follow-up question, and I may be redundant because I'm trying to understand if the calendar that the admissions department creates, will we participate in those recruitment or on, I'll stop there. And those recruitment,
Yep, so it will be a both and. So this goes back to the question right before you. So when the university has its calendar where they need alumni to show up, Mr. Gibson will let me know that. The first thing we're going to do is look at this list of people who showed up tonight and say, oh, okay, we know at a baseline these alum have this training, and we will be in contact to say, okay, would you be willing to attend? Can you represent the university? So it'll be that particular calendar where the admissions may reach out to alum to our office to ask for us to assist. Our first line of defense is going to be our affiliate groups who are under the MOU with the university, as well as our alumni engagement partner groups who are the 501c3s. That will be our line of defense along with. And then I'll give you another real example quickly. If we have an affiliate group and they have a lot of seasoned alum, that's great, but we're going to be looking for 2025, 2024 graduates so that the affair will be covered balanced. We don't want to talk about the fact when I was at CAU, we didn't have a dining hall. I don't want to talk about that when we have a dining hall and we're about to get a brand new one. So we want our teams, if you will, who are our alum, who are supporting admissions to be diverse. So that is Clark College, Atlanta University. It's Clark Atlanta University. We have demographics in terms of gender, age, all of that. That's our goal in terms of what we're trying to do now. Hope that answers that question.
it does. Thank you.
Yes, and it's also to to follow through with that as well. It won't be like a whole year and then or a whole couple of months, then you'll get a calendar. We get requests almost every single day. So that's why I said 2 weeks. It may be if it's very busy, like in the fall, is when our busiest time. The travel season is very thick in September, October, November. That's when our peak season is. And then it slows down in the spring because of the students that are trying to get ready for graduation. 9 times out of 10, they've already picked their colleges they're going to, bless you. They've already picked the colleges that they've gone to and things of that nature. So that's when the season is. So as far as the calendar, that like Dr. Brooks Davis is going to be exactly what that is, but you'll get it for like on a I don't know how you'll disseminate, but probably like every 2 to 3 weeks. Because when I tell you every single day we get a request, and it's only 3 people right now traveling. Sometimes I travel a little bit. Dr. Batiste may travel if he needs to, but the whole nation wants us, and we're 3 people. So we kind of lean on you all heavy, especially out in the Phoenixes and Las Vegas. Now I'll come to Las Vegas, so you ain't gotta worry about that. I'll go to Las Vegas. But like the Hawaii, well, that's a good one too. Alaska and Canada and stuff like that, where we have alums in those places that we normally don't go to. Those are the ones we're definitely going to lean on heavy. And even in Atlanta, because everyone wants us in Atlanta, and sometimes we might all be out of state. I might be busy. Dr. Batiste might be out of state, and then we have no one in Atlanta to represent our home city and state. And then we also may come, reach out to you all about that as well. So, yes.
And I'm
mm,
sorry. And if we are in the city, if I do visit Dallas and it's the Black College Expo and my line is going to be
ooh,
wrapped around the building, or I'm in DC for Alpha Street and that line going to be wrapped around the building. I love when
mhm.
alum helps.
Yes.
I love that.
Absolutely. Because those, especially the Black College Expos, because when I tell you like thousands, hundreds of thousands of people come there, it can be overwhelming for one person. And unfortunately, we can't afford to send 2 admissions counselors, but we be able to, we'll have one of us and maybe 4 y'all. That would be amazing. Okay, sorry. I digress. Miss Sinclair.
Thank you so much. Hi, everyone. Well, I am from the Pittsburgh area, and we do not have an affiliate. So Baptiste is very familiar with me. I'm always sending him emails. I just want to ask, are you all still sending out the templates that has the information to pass out to the students because I have an event coming up in a couple of days. And I do want to encourage everyone, besides the college fairs, always take Black History Month into consideration to reach out to the community and the youth, the parents, the kids, and also Juneteenth. That's a good time to pass out information about CAU as well. And you can have a lot of one-on-one contact. The college fairs are very busy. Here in Pittsburgh, gosh, it's like we get over about 3,000 students and it can be very busy, but I do want to encourage everyone to definitely take other opportunities to talk about CAU. I'm a diehard. So, but I do want to get back to the template because Baptiste, I used to always ask him to mail me all this stuff, and he goes, just use the template and print out the brochures, and that way you'll have a visual aid to pass out to the students. So, do you all have an updated template that someone can email me soon? Because I have an event like next week.
So yes, we have an updated one pager, but before we send it to you, I'm gonna partner with Dr. Brooks Davis first and ask her
Okay.
how does she want to disseminate information like that, and Dr. Batiste, because I want to
Okay.
see what information, because we've had a lot of different updates as far as our
Okay.
template and our one pagers and things of that nature. So I want to partner with our leadership first, and again, Dr.
Okay.
Brooks Davis, and see how to disseminate that information. Again, he is coming into office tomorrow, and I plan, because we had this tonight, tomorrow
Okay.
morning is going to be one of my first things on his list, is to talk with him about how we're going to move forward with alumni and recruiting. So I will be able to get back with you fairly soon, before
Okay.
your event, by the end of the week. So
Thank you.
we'll know what to give you out.
And one other thing, you guys used to have it even on the website, the CAU site. At one time, there was a template where you could just go right on the site and just download it, so we don't have to bug you guys.
So I'll ask. No, that's a good thing. I'll ask him for that, because I'm the person that actually updates our website, our
Okay.
portion, like admissions, new
Okay.
student and family programs. I do that on the back
Yes.
end. So I think that's a great idea. I'll talk with him about that and see how he likes it, and then we'll go from there. But that's a great idea. Thank you.
Thank you so much for all that you're doing.
Miss Haley. If not Miss Haley, Miss Mathis.
Good
If not Miss
evening.
Mathis.
I'm sorry, I couldn't figure out how to come no, sorry. iPad. Okay. Go I'm sorry. Go I just wanted to ask the questions. I bring you greetings from Detroit. The Mr. Gibson had mentioned, like, when we have requests or invitations for a college fair, we need to let him know or send it to him, because I'm kind of like the unofficial point for our affiliate, and I get emails like almost weekly. Sorry, the grandbaby's here. So am I supposed to forward you those emails, Mr. Gibson, or can we just do like we've been doing and go?
Well, you won't. So that's what we're having this conversation, because there's going to be there's a couple of different changes on the flows that we're doing. Yes, to send them to Mr. Gibson, because we need to be able to communicate. Because a lot of times they'll send it to you thinking that you are the CAU point of contact. I'm not saying that you're not, but if we don't show up, then they call us and say, hey, y'all were supposed to come and you didn't come, and it goes up to the provost and the president and things of that nature. And we're trying to keep that from happening. So yes, send it to Mr. Gibson, but how we disseminate who's going to go is back to Dr. Brooks Davis, and how she was saying that she is going to be the person to communicate that. So that's what the new flow is looking like, how it's ironed out, and how she communicates all that to you all. She's very good at communicating. So you'll make sure that you'll have the what's expected. But as far as who to send it to, send a request to Mr. Gibson, and then we'll follow up with you on attending. But don't just go.
So
Is that right, Dr.
Follow
Brooks
up. I
Davis?
have the Detroit chapter of Delta Sigma Theta. They're having a college fair March 21st that we RSVP'd for. Like, so should I call them back and say we can't come, or like what am I supposed to do? Because we have we have some schedule. Like we just did one. The Pistons, Detroit Pistons had one a couple of weeks ago. We went to. I mean, so
Yeah, so that needs to be on hold.
okay.
And I'm because you all are an affiliate group and that has been communicated. So you all should not be accepting any invitations at this point because we were waiting. This is something that me and Mr. Baptiste agreed on, waiting until this training to streamline and move things forward. So as far as the upcoming March 21st, I don't know where we'll be by there, alumni, Haley, but I do know that everything is on pause. So if you've accepted anything else, then you may want to, we can talk offline about that, but yeah,
Okay.
no.
Okay. So
And we
I'll just
also,
I'm sorry.
no, you're fine. Sorry, go ahead. Oh, so I was going to say is that I'm glad you pointed that out as well. That's another reason why we need to communicate, because what may happen is that if you have that invitation and we also send it, because they send it to us too, and then we might travel out there, and then when we get there, y'all are there, and we're like, hey, we didn't know that you were going to be here. And that's money that we could have spent going somewhere else, and you could have had it all to yourself, or vice versa. You could have gone somewhere else and we could have, manned that specific fair. So anytime that you get anything like that, it's always good to send it to us because we may have registered for it or even paid for it already. And we don't want you double paying because some of them charge a lot of money. I'm talking about the NACAC fair was like $1,500. It was ridiculous. But what I'm saying is that we don't want you paying for anything and us paying for something, and it could just get real kind of crazy. So the first thing to do is to send it to Mr. Gibson, let us look at it and review it, and then we'll communicate that with Ms. Brooks Davis.
Hey, good evening. I was Maxine. I put my hand down because you had called on me.
Yes.
I'm sorry. So my question was along the same lines, but I think the follow-up question that I had was, we have some very eager alum that want to do it and have been doing it anyway. So how is that being addressed, I guess, from the university? Because as a affiliate president, I've kind of said it several times, but it's kind of been the response of, well, you haven't shown up and I need to show up on behalf of, because this is my church, this is my school, these my kids go to this school. So how is the university addressing that, and how should we respond in response to that as well?
Well, you can respond. I was trying to gather my thoughts in my response. Dr. Brooks Davis, you want to?
I've been there.
Wow,
I
y'all
know
see
just
that?
what she's talking about.
So you see how you do that, Ms. Williams? So this is what I would say. The university is in transition, right? And so the reality of it all is there have been seasons where there were fairs where there was commitments made and people did not show up on all sides, right? Be it if it was an alumni group, if it was the university, where we have gotten correspondence that somebody was not there. In some instances, to what Ms. Williams is stating, is sometimes alum have committed the university. The fair, the individuals organizing the fair, it had an expectation that an official representative from the university was coming. And as an alum, you are not an official representative. So that is someone who works for the university. And when there was no show, then feedback comes to both the Office of Alumni Relations and Engagement as well as to the admissions office. I was the former president of the DC Metro back when we were chapter before I took on this position. So I'm well aware that there are demands. I'm getting emails now still for fairs that are happening in DC Metro area. What I would ask is that you communicate, and we will have to do our due diligence as much as we can to communicate that in this season, we are trying to come up with a system. Alumni have asked for organization. We're trying to do it. Step one was tonight. And we thank you all for joining us and coming on this call. It has taken us a while to get to this point. So we're going to roll things out such that you'll have what you need to be able to show up. To your point, Maxine, President Mathis, we can't control alum, and we're not looking to do that. But what we will be doing is identifying who is authorized by the university to represent the university. And if alum operate outside of that, then that's on them. But eventually, time will catch up where the broader community will know here's the process. So it's change. And I know you all like to get out there and alum feel like they have to do it, but actually you don't. But we're grateful that you want to. And so what we would say then is if you, to Miss Williams's point, alum, regardless if you had a chapter before, if you're an affiliate group, whomever you are, as you get requests, please send them to Mr. Gibson and not be an outlier. Please do that. And we'll go from there.
Thank you so much.
Miss Yasmin.
Yes. Okay. Good evening, everyone. I'm actually coming from Central Texas of Austin, Texas. And I have a few questions because I am also one of those alumni who has been a part of the college fair since graduating in 2019. Some common themes that I hear from prospective students and even parents themselves. How do you guys as admissions handle the questions regarding campus safety? What does that look like for student safety? And if we are the authorized alumni who participate in these fairs, how do we go about addressing that? That's my one question because I do have a couple, but I do want to bring that up first. Talk about campus awareness and campus safety.
So I will say that we just had this issue come up. So thank you, alumna Yasmin. As far as the recent incident that happened on campus where an officer asked a student to leave the class because she did not have her identification. I have reached out to the appropriate persons on campus to get an answer to that question. So what I will say is the only persons who can speak to incidents on campus who are authorized to do so are Chief Williams and our VP Cheeks. Those are the only, and of course, President French. Those are the only three authorized persons. Nobody else is authorized. So I would strongly encourage you, much like myself, that when questions come to you, don't answer those questions because you aren't authorized to do so. And so what I have been told, and we have a meeting because I've requested a meeting with with Chief Williams, and I have spoken with Dr. Sadler, who's our VP in the Office of Alumni Relations, about how and when will we get responses. I know on social media everybody wants to respond, but my recommendation would be to refer people to CAU 1988 and to our website at this point, and we just have to wait until they're prepared to provide a response. Similarly, if you're at a fair and a parent or a young person wants to know what's the stats on crime in our respective area and our campus community and protocols, that will go directly to Chief Williams and her staff. So move it to public, tell them they can contact our public safety office. You can go on our website, give them the number, and have them contact them. But the two offices for that will be our public relations, which is VP Cecilia Cheeks. The other would be Chief Williams. But we should not be commenting at any incident, anything about CAU. That is not for us to do.
Okay. And I do want to just clarify because there has been some, even like conversations about like there are the campus safety app that has been talked about on the official page and things like that. But I just wanted to just make awareness when they're speaking about safety. What do they mean by that? Like, is it okay for us to say we do have campus safety on campus, or we do have CAUPD that is available, or is that not authorized to mention to parents? I know we can't say anything about stats because I too, my parents had the same conversations as well, but just giving them a little bit of solace. We know we can't talk about everything, but just letting them know, hey, you know, we do have CAUPD available. We do have our chief there. We do have an app of some sort of whatever the case may be. Are those things available, or do we just have to resort to our official handles and with our chief of police?
So I think just what you said right there, I think is enough. And then I will refer them to the website. I would
Okay.
say we do have police on campus. We do have a campus app. We do have patrol. We do have gates on our campus. And if you want any further information, you can go right here to cau.edu/site. I would just leave it at that. Because if not, it'll go to a rabbit hole, right? They'll have more
Absolutely.
questions. Yeah.
Absolutely. My follow-up question is, when I know we're still working out the kinks of disseminating information. My biggest thing that I have seen over the years doing college fairs is, how do we keep those students or prospective students who have gained an interest about Clark Atlanta? I'm in Austin, Texas, but I also live in Waco, Texas as well. And something that I've come across is that, how do we keep the students engaged from the fair to letting them know about upcoming things that are coming in the pipeline, to for them to be upcoming graduating seniors, and that, you know, get them ahead to apply, let them know about orientation. How do we keep that pipeline from fair to future Panther involved? I know that's something that is still very much novice, but I do want to kind of shed some light about, is there opportunity for us to keep them connected with us on a basis? I know they won't speak to us, but we at least have their information to keep them connected with CAU. How are you guys planning on doing that, if you guys can share?
Yeah. So
So
go ahead, Ms. Williams.
sorry, I don't know what you were going to say, but I feel like we were thinking about the same thing. But one thing I can say is, you all know that each admission counselor is connected with the student. So their whole profile is connected with Mr. Gibson. Their whole profile is connected with Miss Staten. So the first thing that you should definitely do is say, hey, this is, even if you want to, I was, even if you want to just say, okay, here, go on the website, this is your admissions counselor, make sure you reach out to them, you know, regarding, and we definitely keep them engaged. Even if you want to send me an email like, hey, I met this girl named so and so, she's really great, I love that. Send us the emails. We love to make sure to keep those students that you think are going to be bright stars. We'll definitely, you know, take a look at them. So I say do that. Also, I'm not sure, Dr. Brooks Davis, if I know, and this is something that we did at Tuskegee, is that they had college send-offs. So like if you were in Atlanta, we had the Atlanta college send-off. If you were in Houston, you had a Houston college send-off. So I don't know if that's something that could be done, but I know that a lot of students love alumni, and you all are that bridge. So from a university standpoint, making sure to reach out to us and letting them know, like, hey, look out, you know, I met this person, she really stood out, want to make sure that she makes it, you know, this is her first and last name. You know, I'll need her email address, whatever, because she'll email. But we also keep up with the students as well, because they now have that admissions counselor, and they are very connected to each and every one of them.
Yeah, so that's a great question. So what I would say, and to you, what you just mentioned, Ms. Williams, we do have freshman send-offs, and those are initiated by our affiliate groups. But what I will also say to the question is that I am actually planning and launching a CAU 1988 tour, where we are going to look at engaging alum. Big picture. So if anybody's on this call, y'all know anybody, is to actually get a bus wrapped CAU where we literally go across the country from East Coast to
Oh,
West Coast,
yeah.
that we pop up in cities across. We have our alum on panels. So what we want to do, but it's not just that, we're doing culture for service. So when we come into the community, we're going to be doing community service projects. We're going to engage the entire community. Our alum who are in the health field, we can do health fairs. It's going to be a whole expo. We're going to have admissions. We are going to bring in the bands. We're going to bring in Philharmonic Society so that the community can see CAU from beginning to end. And we want it to be multidisciplinary as well as multi-generational. We're going to kick off March 20th with our conference. First time, we're going to have staff, students, and alum come and talk about how can we handle the issues that are currently in our country. And we're going to start with what are students' concerns they have on campus and how can we partner to handle that together. So we are working on having a long time engagement, right? Not even just at the fairs, but tapping into elementary students so they can see what it's like to graduate from a HBCU, and we can bring about interest and give back to the community, whether or not students come to CAU or not. So we're working on that. I'll drop in the chat the Panther Legacy Collective. I just had a meeting with a group of alum who want to connect in that way. And so if you're in an area where we don't have an affiliate group, I will tell you right now, our affiliates currently are in Chicagoland, Dallas, Fort Worth, Metro Detroit, Los Angeles, and it is also DC Metro. Those are our 5. We have some coming up, but again, there's other ways in which you can engage.
Okay.
That's good. That sounds really good.
It sounds
That
fun.
sounds good, Dr. Davis. Yes. Yes.
So I'm
Okay.
going to take, I'm
I'm
sorry.
sorry. I have one last question. I'm sorry. It's actually regarding scholarships because I know that was something in the chat. We don't have to go in depth about it, but just something I just wanted to highlight I know we can't talk about scholarships in depth, but can you guys speak a little bit more about what are the requirements, or somebody who is asking, would they be eligible for a scholarship, and what are the current CAU scholarships that we do offer as well? I know we are partnered with the UNCF, but can you guys speak a little bit about what is the eligibility for somebody who is interested or may be eligible for scholarships?
So the great thing about the scholarships is that anyone that has gotten admissions at a 3.0 unweighted, 3.0 GPA or higher, unweighted. Is it weighted or unweighted? I think it's weighted.
Unweighted.
Thank you.
Unweighted is what
Unweighted.
determines the amount, yeah.
Yes, the unweighted determines the amount, but if they have a 3.0 unweighted, they're automatically qualified for a scholarship. Now, depending on, and again, this is information we can send it to you as far as actual literature, the different tiers. But if they're admitted with the 3.0 unweighted, they're eligible for a scholarship. Excuse me, eligible for a scholarship. That's what I state when I go out. I know that the other team does as well, because when you start going through, well, I have a 3.9. Okay, well, I don't have a, they kind of want to get in the thick of it. 3.0 or higher unweighted, you're eligible for a scholarship. Well, how do we do that? Is it a separate application? No. When you put your application in, you are automatically qualified for a scholarship. You're automatically reviewed for a scholarship. So there's no separate application. 3.0 unweighted or higher, you're automatically looked at for a scholarship. And that information will come from the Office of Admissions at a later date. So we don't give it to them like immediately. We have to send it out in different routes because, as you can see, we've got 16,000 people that have been accepted already. So we send it out in different rounds. We don't send it out all at one time. Does that answer your question?
Yes, it did. Thank you.
And Yasmin, if you want to, something that I do additionally, because a lot of them like to ask, well, how much? I just say the merit scholarships start at $22,000 and go up to $88,000, just to kind of give them an idea as what that starting point is and what that ending point is. So anywhere from $22,000 all the way up to $88,000 based on your unweighted GPA. And in order to be awarded a scholarship, they have to have at least that 3.0 unweighted, because somebody may have a 3.0 weighted GPA, but that unweighted may be a 2.7, which means they won't be eligible to receive a merit scholarship. So, just kind of those key little pieces that could give them an answer that they need. It's probably not the answer that they want, but it's an answer to kind of get them to say, oh, okay, well, I don't have to fill out an additional application. I'm going to automatically be considered if I'm admitted into the school. So
we're going to answer 3 more. And then I know because of time, I want to just go ahead and briefly show y'all the website, the admissions part of the website, so that you know what that looks like and what hot points to look at when you're looking at it. So it's going to be Miss Smith, Miss Presley, and Miss Tamar. Tamar. One of them. So Miss Smith?
Hello, good evening, everybody. My name is Shelly Smith. I'm a part of the DC Metro affiliate group. Had to correct myself. I just have a couple of points. So I've been the recruiting chair here in the DC area for 13 years. Over the years, I've had a lot of people reach out to me, whether it's counselors, principals, or any other type of staff at local schools here, and quite a few of them have asked about establishing a pipeline between the school and CAU, and I almost never know who to contact about that. Who do I contact about that?
Me.
Okay, great. So if at the end, if you could put all y'all's contact information back on the screen, and then I'm gonna take a little screenshot of that. Okay. My next point, so I know that nursing is different from biology, but a lot of students are interested in both. I don't know if we're still recommending steering them towards the biology program, or if they're dead set on nursing. I typically just recommend another HBCU with a nursing program. I'm not sure about how exactly
I am so
which
happy.
direction do we want to go to that.
I am so happy you mentioned that. Yes, we do not have nursing. But what I do tell the students, because I used to work for Morehouse School of Medicine and some of their supplemental programs that work with the AUC to get students to go into health professions. I always say hey, if you want to come to CAU, we do not have nursing. And I make it very clear. We do not have nursing. However, we do have a health professions program. And with that health professions program, and I can send you all that information and the contact to that person, with the health professions program, they go into biology, chemistry, they go into the STEM field, and the health professions program kind of gives them supplemental information like MCAT prep, things of that nature, internships, partnerships with Morehouse School of Medicine, the different programs to get them to go to the different parts that they want to go to, even with Emory and Georgia State. So they still have a pathway to nursing if that's what if they want to really come to Clark Atlanta, but we don't have nursing. We still have ways to help them get to their ultimate goal. But I always start by saying we do not have nursing, because I don't ever want someone coming here like, yeah, I came here because Ms. Williams said we had nursing. No, I did not. We do not have nursing, but we have plenty of health professions. We have a health profession program that allows them to have that personalized walk with how to get there.
Okay, yeah, I would love more information about that. So when it comes time for the college fairs, I can disseminate that. And I know Raphael mentioned this earlier, but the Alfred Street Fair is the largest HBCU fair in the country with over 10,000 students. And I cannot I cannot tell you how imperative it is that we have someone from admissions attend this fair with us. I have personally worked this fair. One year I actually did it by myself. Like there were no alums to help me. There was nobody from admissions. It is extremely exhausting. I loved it, but it was extremely exhausting and the help is really needed. So I know it's like February, but it'll be back around, I think around November or October-ish. So if y'all could put that on your calendar. I mean, I don't know when they're going to send out the information about the exact date for this upcoming year. But typically sometimes they will reach out to admissions before they reach out to us. And then they also require each person at the table to register. So like if one of y'all is coming, and you want alumni to be there, we also have to have the information to register. So if we could communicate about that, but please come to Alfred Street.
So
Absolutely.
I will say this. I will say this, and Mr. Gibson can chime in. Alfred Street, and what's the other one? Gibson?
Um,
Alfred
Malcolm
Street
Bernard.
and Malcolm Bernard.
Alpha Street, Malcolm Bernard, and then the one in Memphis as well. I forgot, but it comes to my head. We
HBCU
are really
awareness.
good. Yes, we are really HBCU awareness. There it is. Foundation. We are really good with attending Alfred Street. We almost never miss it, and that's why I say it's very important for us to communicate when we're going to be there, because we probably were there when you were there,
I
and you
definitely,
probably didn't
not
know.
not this
I've
year.
definitely been there with Shelly.
No, 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 no,
Yeah,
no. So this year is different because this year we had a travel ban, and that was sent out to the university, and that information was like we cannot fly. We can't. That's when they were falling out the sky, and there was a lot of stuff going on. So they banned us from traveling. We registered. Did we pay for? I think we paid for Alfred Street too to pay for. We registered.
Alfred Street is free.
yeah. Well,
Just
because
kidding, it's free.
they're using a different whatever that scan thing is. Fairs that use that scan
Oh,
thing, they
Strive
usually
Scan.
have to charge for that. Yeah. So
Mm-hmm.
they may have charged for it. I'm not sure. I mean, I didn't pay nothing, but they may have.
Yeah. So yeah, so it just needs like you said to communicate, because that was during the time the university had a ban and we were shut down. We couldn't go anywhere if it wasn't a drivable distance. We couldn't go to Malcolm Bernard, which we paid handsomely for. We were sad about that. And then we couldn't go for Alfred Street, but almost every single year, Clark Atlanta does not miss Alfred Street, Malcolm Bernard, and the HBCU Awareness Foundation. So we're pretty good at those.
Yes. And Raphael, I did get your email. It was in my spam though.
Uh,
I I was a little upset you wasn't there, but I saw your email and I was like, okay. But yeah, those were all my questions. But whenever you have a chance, if you could put your contact information back on the slide.
Mr. Gibson, can you put my contact information in there?
Thank you.
In the chat. Thank you. Miss Presley?
Yes, good evening, everybody. I'm in Southern California and I have a couple of concerns. One of them is expected turnaround. So let's just say we finished all the training. What is the turnaround for sending in this email to let someone know that an event is coming up? And I say that because in previous years, when we've had events, so again, it doesn't, speak well for the alumni community, especially when they see us as CAU. So just wanting to understand that, and also to suggest that there may be maybe some kind of form on your admissions website where we can put all the information in, and then we need to figure out from a turnaround standpoint. The second one was, once you do know where you all are going to be, it will be really nice if we were able to see at a glance on your admissions place on the website where, you're going to be at Alpha Street or we're going to be at the HBCU fair in LA. And then the third one was, with 40,000 people who either have applied or anticipated of applying, why are we continuing to do such heavy recruiting? And I'm not trying to, be funny or whatever. I'm second generation alum. I have 4 of my children who've also are alum with CAU, but it seems like we're putting a lot of effort for basically possibly 2,000 seats as freshmen. And then as a alum, what I get on the other side is when the students become a junior, the parents complaining about they don't have anywhere to stay, the whole 9 yards. So it just feels like there needs to be some kind of balance between the recruitment part of it and then also the acceptance part. And because it's a trickle down, if that makes sense. So a lot of the publicity that we're getting as a university is great. But if you can't accommodate the students that you have, then why are we putting so much effort in it? And I know, and I don't want to say, is this just a money grab? Because in some cases it could be considered a money grab. But again, if we're having all these people apply, we're doing all this heavy recruiting for 1,500, 2,000 seats. It just seems like we're not being as efficient as we could be. And please know, I'm not being negative. I'm trying to be realistic in terms of what I see as an alum here in California, where I want more of our students to come to CAU. But then again, I'm dealing with the fallout on the other side from parents who are like, my child was there for 2 years. Now they don't have any place to live. We're dealing with the lottery, all those things. And I know a lot of what I'm saying is beyond admissions, but it starts with admissions. Thank you.
Right. So I appreciate everything that you stated. I do appreciate the feedback. I do want to say that I'm very careful. I'm very slow to speak or to respond when it comes to certain people's experiences. And I say that because when people say, "Well, I came down here and my student didn't have a place to stay. Did your student fill out the housing application?" There's so many intricacies that we could address. So I try to stay away from that. And I, like you say, you're not trying to be negative. So that's why I try to keep away from all the little one-off situations, because I hear a lot more positive than I do a lot more negative. Because a lot of students don't have a problem. They're able to come in, they're able to get housing, they're able to be successful. And there's a smaller population where those students are having some type of difficulties. But in experience, not even at just Clark, but at Dillard, at Tuskegee, at Life, where I used to work, which is not HBCU, there's always going to be a gap between what we see in the public and then what actually happened. So I want to, just think about that. And then as far as we're recruiting, you're going to always recruit. You don't ever want to get comfortable when it comes to recruiting. So even though 2,000 students may choose us, because if we could get all 40,000 of them here, we would rather that, and then we can expand to Clark Atlanta and it'd be a beautiful big Harry Potter looking place. But realistically, we have something in the funnel that we experience called melt. So we'll have 40,000 applications, 16,000 of them get accepted, and we'll only have 1,000 or 1,200 actually pay the deposit and come. We know that they're going to trickle down, so we don't want to shoot for 20,000 and then we have 15,000 or 10 or maybe half of the 15,000 get accepted and only 700 come, and then now we're below numbers. So you're always in the essence shoot for the stars to land in the clouds. So we always never want to get comfortable, especially during this time of the year, not this time of the year, but this time in America where HBCUs and Black culture and things of that nature, and I'm not trying to get political, but we all see what's happening. We all see what's happening. So us staying relevant, us still recruiting, us going out there is very intentional. And every time we would touch a student, it's very intentional. So even though it looks like money, all those things, it's big numbers. We say all that to say that this is the interest in Clark, and we want to keep that interest going no matter what it is.
No, I
So
agree. So I guess that the other part to the question is, so say what is the number one reason that people don't sign up? And I would say 80% is probably financial. So yes, you are giving out merit scholarships, you're all giving out, other types of scholarships or whatever. But the thing that keeps children and their parents from signing on the dotted line, 99% of the time is going to be money. So if we
I won't
give
say
out
99%. Yeah, I
Okay.
won't say 99%. Money is, of course, financial aid is going to be an issue almost across the board everywhere, because a lot of people are losing minority funded grants and at schools that are not HBCUs. And we actually had a student recently that came from somewhere in Minnesota, and he had a full ride. And then because his minority grant was cut, he came to Clark. So I think that I don't want to say 99% of it is money. It could be a lot of different things. But I do, again, I try to stay away from those smaller conversations, because those conversations can spiral into something else. And then someone quotes you and you're just like, that's not what I was trying to, that's not what I was trying to
And no,
say.
and like I said, I'm not trying to be arguing. I just wanted to just ask the question, what's and I get it that the more you recruit, again, the better the pool, better the students, all of that. But I guess what I'm saying is, if you do admit these 16,000, and because of GPAs and all of that, these people are getting part of the funds, perhaps more funds could be given to students who really want to come, but you don't know that until after everybody's in, because that's the number one thing I see from students coming from my area is the fact that they don't have enough money to come, and not that they're not applying for all other types of scholarships and different things like that, but most of the time it comes down to financial. Why somebody can or can't comes down to money. They don't have enough money to either stay in school or not enough money. And then the second one will also be around housing. That's it. Thank you so much.
Ms. Tamar, and that'll be the last person before we go over the website and then close it out.
Good. This is Tamar, by the way. I'm a male.
Sorry, Tamar, Mr. Tamar.
You're fine.
You should
No
have
problem.
corrected me a long time ago.
I was gonna wait my turn. No sweat. No sweat. So I really have just a general question. I did come to the meeting late, so you may have already answered it. But providing materials to the affiliates for these college fairs you would like us to take care of. How can we either share the costs or y'all absorb the costs? And because what we're seeing out there is that these other institutions, other HBCU institutions have full color, nice brochures that they're handing out to the students. And it seems like, we're left with an email that we have to generate ourselves. And so I just wanted to see, did we ever address that in this forum, and how can we in the future? Thank you.
Yeah, so we addressed it earlier, and that's something that Dr. Brooks Davis and myself and Mr. Dr. Batiste and Mr. Gibson are going to talk about as far as how we're going to do that. So that's going to be something that will come along in the near future. We'll talk about if we're going to do a template, if we're going to put it on the website, if we're going to send you a package. We're going to have that conversation. And I also stated that we're going to have it soon. So I'm going to have that conversation with Dr. Batiste tomorrow as he returns to office, because I'm really excited about, one, the help that you all are going to bring, because we desperately need it. We desperately need the help. And then also, because y'all are so eager, we want to make sure that y'all keep the momentum that you all have to get out there and recruit the students. Like I spoke earlier about it, even though we have a big pool of students, we can never have too many students interested in a HBCU, especially Clark Atlanta University. So we'll make sure to follow up with you on how we're going to be disseminating materials and information in the very near future. Okay.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Okay, so really quickly, because I know everyone has a life, I'm going to share my screen one more time, and I'm going to show you where you can find certain pieces of information, and then we will close it out. This is my screen. Now okay, there's too much going on. I need this. Now this thing is. All right. So this is the new Clark Atlanta homepage. Very pretty. You should definitely look at it at your leisure. So you go to menu and you go to admissions. Start off at the regular. You can skip to undergraduate admissions, but I would encourage you to start at the admissions office. And it has a different tabs where you can do apply to CAU, which takes you to our application, undergraduate admissions, graduate admissions, and all the different things, including new student and family programs, where when you start talking to students and they've already gotten accepted, they're going to start talking about new student orientation. And this is where new student orientation information will be housed there. We'll peek at that in a second. So this is the new website, updated information. And of course, you can click on those. They can click here. There's so many different places where you can start your application. You can apply on that tab up top. You can start it right here. It takes you to financial aid, tuition information. And then it also goes to meet your staff, where the wonderful staff, staff information will be on here with our pictures so that they can say, hey, I met this person. Oh, okay. His name is Mr. Raphael Gibson. This is his email address, so they know how to reach him, and they know the assisting students with last name ending in or starting in INT, and they have the transfer recruiter information. So this is going to be your cheat sheet as well. So making sure that you have all this information, or at least know where to find it. Sorry, it's a little big. And then, of course, all the information is here, along with our graduate information, but they don't have their emails on there. So the next thing that's important is also the undergraduate admissions page. This is going to be the wealth of knowledge page. And again, I personally update this with the help of Dr. Batiste. We go through this with a fine-tooth comb and update it every time it needs to be updated. So the most up-to-date information will be right here on the undergraduate admissions page. So this right here, you'll see the minimum requirements that we went over, the profile, how to apply with hyperlinks so that they can actually click on this and it will take you to the different things. When to apply, it has a very detailed for students, even for yourself to read over, when's the best time to apply as a student? You know, when's the spring admissions information, things of that nature. Another point to click, the how to apply to the school. The undergraduate academic programs, here are the colleges. We didn't list all the majors because it's a lot. What the admissions package looks like, that's what this is. And it has hyperlinks as well. How do you send a transcript? Parchment, National Student Clearinghouse, email at admissions@cau.edu. The recommended curriculum, all that information. We don't typically look at the curriculum or like how many Englishes, how many maths, but this is what we recommend, especially if counselors are wanting to take a look on how to prepare their students for college. That's what we look at. Our application deadlines, this has been updated, so that information is there. Tuition and fees, we leave that to the Office of Financial Aid and Scholarships because that is not our department. They can click that and it'll take you to the updated information and how to do submissions again, along with our mailing address. We have FAQs on here talking about scholarships like we talked about earlier. Do we have scholarships? How do you set up tours? Because I know people are interested. There's a hyperlink for that where they can do this tour scheduling, credits transferring over, international student, all that information is very detailed. Now, the new part of our website is going to be the new student information. This is going to be a space for students that have recently got accepted or have got accepted and want to know what's next. So if they come up to you and say, hey, you know, I got accepted, what do I do next? And tell them, hey, you should really go on the new student information webpage on Clark Atlanta's website. It literally has every walkthrough I could ever. I've got pictures on it and everything. So they would first pay their confirmation fee. Again, for your own knowledge, definitely take a look at this. The new student checklist has it from step 1 all the way to step 2. I have hyperlinked every single thing so that can make it for ease of them. And then how to activate their Clark Atlanta email. That's probably going to be the biggest thing. That's one of the biggest things that we're going through as well. How do you activate it? Why should I activate it? How do I do my multi-factor authentication? All those things that you're not like, oh, honey, I don't know. Go to the website because we need for them to engage with this website. It has step-by-step on how to do everything. Again, I told you I have pictures on how to do everything. So it is all here for the new student information webpage. Again, I'm going to briefly skate by the new student and family programs where new student orientation is housed. Here it goes. New student family program. So when they get accepted, they pay their confirmation fee. They do new student orientation. I'm sure you all remember that. So more information about that is going to be on here. I also update this website. So any type of important information will be updated on this webpage. And we can make real-time updates. So again, all the orientation dates are going to be on here. How to schedule your orientation date. How do you select that? Our orientation guides, a list of hotels. What is NSO? Is it mandatory? This is a very foolproof website. So we made sure to be very detailed in order that if anyone wants to know any more information about that. So I'm going to stop sharing here. And as we close out, again, I encourage you all to take a look at that new webpage and the website, not only just admissions, but student accounts, financial aid, especially when it comes to tuition, financial aid and scholarship, and what the verbiage for the institution, across the institution is, So when that you're speaking to different people and parents and families, you have the same mindset as Clark Atlanta University and how we're moving forward into a better tomorrow. I know that we'll have a lot of questions, and this is definitely not going to be the last training. This is just the beginning because we're moving on. Dr. Brooks Davis has built this, and I'm new, by the way. I'm a freshman, I'm a baby. So I've only been here less than a year. So I'm also new to the different changes that are happening, but I'm on the same boat that you are on, and I'm ready to move forward into the future and develop these new processes so that we can build a better connection moving forward, how we present our institution. So with that being said, I'm going to close it out. Dr. Brooks Davis, did you have anything else to say?
I don't. I think, well, I said I don't, then I started talking. So what I would just say is thank you all for hanging in there. East Coast, we know it's a little late for you, but we made it at 8 o'clock because we wanted to consider the West Coast. And so we want to thank everybody for staying on board. I think at a minimum, what we will do is we can reply back to the email tonight and send out the link that you have provided today to the website. I also think we can do some QR codes so that persons can have the information. Ms. Williams, the website is very thorough, so kudos to you and your team. And I don't know that we will go to printed materials just because things continue to change in real time, but I think it's more or less how do we make sure that our alum, actually what I'm hoping we will do is an alum from our side is that we will create an app for the alum that they'll be able to download on their phone and they'll be able to access everything. But again, as much stuff as electronic as possible, one, to save money, really not even money. It's just, it is money on the back end because things are changing in real time. So again, thank you all for your partnership and engaging us there. And we'll send information out. And I know Ms. Williams is going to talk from the admission side, and then we'll get there. I did drop in the chat for those who want to be engaged on some of the other things that I've talked about. Please make sure you complete that. And that'll be it. We have the recording. The question was sent out, Ms. Williams, about when we will send the recording out. So perhaps what we can do is you could talk to Dr. Batiste tomorrow. We can convene, and then we send out a summary email and send the link out at that time. And then I would say finally, I think tonight was a great orientation training. But that there's more to come. So again, thank you all for your time. And that's all that I have.
All right. See you all later. Thank you
Take
so much.
care. Bye-bye.